Welcome to Beans and Breakdowns, a podcast dedicated to bridging the gap between specialty coffee and the heavy music community. On this episode, we're joined by Lumpy of DAZE Records, King 9, Sanction, Out for Justice, and a number of other Long Island hardcore bands. So grab a fresh cup of coffee and wake the fuck up! What's going on, Caffeinated Crew? Today I'm joined with Lumpy. You may know him from DAZE Style or one of his 20 bands that are all bangers. But yeah, it's Lumpy. How's it going?
Yeah, what's going on?
I couldn't think of a better intro. I apologize.
That's all right.
I used all my intro credits on the episode I did yesterday, so I'm like tapped out for today.
That's fine.
Well, cool. Super glad that we get to chat. We're going to talk about coffee for sure. I know that you're not technically drinking coffee, but you do have like caffeine, I guess.
Yeah, I think there's caffeine at Coke Zero. Yep. It's the last ingredient, so that means there's only a tiny bit, right?
Like a small amount. A lot of aspartame, a little bit of caffeine.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I'm drinking something pretty cool, actually. I got to go to Pista today. It's like, have you played Montreal?
Yeah.
Where did you ever play like Foofs or something like that?
Yeah. I've been to Foofs a couple times, I think. I don't know if I've had any good coffee over there. So is it right over there?
Yeah, it's like right around the corner. It's like so bougie looking on the inside. They have like a little bar and shit, but they roast fucking awesome coffee. But I got this bag today.
What's the name of it?
Pista.
Pista.
Yeah, it's called Karimikui. I don't know how to pronounce that because it's from Kenya.
Sounds awesome.
It's double washed. I don't know what that means because I only know what washed coffee is.
That means they wash it twice.
Yeah, thank you. It's very, very good. I don't know what it tastes like yet because it's so fucking hot that it'll burn my tongue.
Yeah,
because I just made it, but it's pretty good. It's got like a bergamot kind of smell.
Fancy.
I know. That's what moving from the States to Montreal will do to you.
You even know what bergamot is?
It's like a tiny ass orange looking citrus thing.
Is it? Okay, because that's just like one of those things that I'm like, oh yeah, that smells good, but it's like I don't know what it is. So
I went on a fucking tangent one time about gooseberries because somebody put gooseberries as a tasting note on a coffee.
Yeah, that sounds. They're going a little too crazy with this.
But then the guy I was talking to knew what gooseberries tasted like. So I was like, well, fuck me, man. I don't know. I shouldn't. Do you want to have the podcast now? I guess I could just sell it to you or something for a loss. Yeah, this is good. Coffee from Kenya. It's usually hit or miss with me. But this one's definitely.
How long have you been up in Montreal?
6. Is this this is 23? So 6 years.
So,
5 years.
Do you speak French?
Un petit pot.
Yeah,
I mean, so a little bit. I don't even know if I said that correctly. So no, I don't. But it's pretty fun. You don't really need it.
I remember the first time I was in Montreal, like 10 years ago. I needed like a battery for my active pickup on my guitar, and I went into a supermarket, and I was like, "Fuck, how am I gonna find?" I couldn't find it, and I was like, "I can't ask anybody. They all speak French. What the fuck am I gonna do?" So I'm looking around for like 15 minutes, and I'm like, "Fuck it, I'll ask somebody." I'm like, "Hey, you know where the 9 volts are?" He's like, "Oh yeah, right over there." Like, I'm like, "Oh, okay, great."
Yeah, that's like the classic. I think I went to Quebec City, which is even more fucking French speaking and less English speaking. And I like went in somewhere and nobody, like I was like, "Can you help me find this thing?" And they were like, "Quoi?" I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
So I don't.
Montreal is like such a popular like tourist destination. It's like, yeah, everybody's going to speak English over there. I bet you if you go into like rural country Quebec, nobody's speaking English.
I had to work out there once and nobody, like people could understand what I was saying and would refuse to respond in English.
Yeah. I'd be like, you got any of that toast? I like the French toast. Where's that?
Oh, dude, some of that. That's a misconception too. I thought it was from here. It's not. They jumped down my throat about that.
All right. So where's the best poutine?
My favorite's the one next to Phillips.
Yeah, I've had the one in the corner.
Yeah,
I've had that one. That's a good one.
They just remodeled because they had rats.
Really? That makes sense. Yeah. That was definitely like a city vibe. Like, it's not going to be the cleanest, but that's fine. I mean, that's part of the taste. You know what I mean?
It gives a flavor.
There's this. Did you ever go to Ottawa?
Mm-hmm.
There's that one like diner over there that's like probably the best I've ever had. I forgot the name of it, but all the hardcore kids were like, yeah, this is the spot. And I was actually talking about, I forgot the name of it. If I looked it up, I could probably find it. But that's the best, in my opinion. But it's been a while.
I haven't spent a lot of time in Ottawa. I've been for like work and shit. This is no disrespect to any friends from Ottawa. It's so boring. Like compared to Montreal.
I mean, yeah, it's the capital. So all capital cities are pretty boring. That's just like the way it is.
Yeah, it's got to be that way because you don't want to stay there.
Yeah.
Well, give me your coffee. What's your coffee order when you walk in to a cafe?
To a place I've never been.
Yeah. How do you test the waters?
Cold brew. A black cold brew. Usually, always a black cold brew, because if you don't have a good black cold brew, you're not going to have anything else good. That's, you know what I mean? Like, think about it. Like, you can have good espresso. How many places have good espresso, but not good cold brew? It's like, it doesn't happen. It could be one of those spots where they don't have cold brew, they just have iced coffee. Like, that's fine sometimes. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of those.
Yeah. How do you feel about this? There's this new wave of cold brew is bad. You should do flash brew.
Yeah. How do they make that again? It's basically like iced coffee, right? It's like the middle ground between iced coffee and cold brew.
But they don't add the full amount of hot water. They put ice and drip like a less amount of hot water over the coffee, and it dilutes when it drips into the ice.
I've had some good flash brew. It usually tastes like a good iced coffee, because I'll get iced coffee sometimes if I know the spot, because I might not want like as strong of a drink. You know what I mean?
Right.
But usually a black cold brew. That's usually the move. I mean, I find myself mostly just getting that like 70% of the time anyway, like wherever I am. But trying out a new spot, first of all, the spot has to look right.
That's,
you know what I mean? I can
one.
just, I mean, I do my research. I mean, I've been living in Connecticut for like almost 3 years now, and I'm constantly just like looking in New England on Google Maps, just searching coffee, and just you see the name, and you just look at a picture of the inside. You can see one picture that says, nope, there's a fucking chalkboard menu. Get the fuck out of here. Or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, oh, there's like moms and like kids running around. No
go.
Oh, you have board games? No. What the fuck? I'm not sitting here playing board games. Get out of here. You know what I mean? There's exceptions. Like sometimes like a spot will check all the boxes, but then they'll have like a chalkboard menu, but just white chalk. Not when they use like all the different colored chalks. You know, that's fucked up. Plus the coffee spot has to have like, got to probably be painted white or gray or something, or like a light blue.
Neutral
and then
tones.
It's got to have, like very minimalist coffee shop vibes, like white countertop or black countertop, and then like a military green accent color, kind of like You know what I mean? Like underneath the coffee bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's multiple ways you can do it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I can walk in a place and just know immediately if it's going to be good.
I only laugh because that's literally like I would say 85 to 90% of my favorite cafes is that exact coffee shop.
That's me too. I mean, that's just the way it is. There's a place that I live right next to now where it's a 2-minute walk. That is none of those. The coffee is very just okay, but it's right there and I go there all the time. Let me describe this place to you.
Oh God.
Because it's mostly everything I hate in a coffee shop, but it's so close that it's just, I'll just go. The cold brew is okay. Like, right. I know what I'm getting and I'm not like expecting the best thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, there's like skeletons, like there's like skeleton mannequins and they're like on skateboards. And I'm not going to say the name of the shop just because I don't want to put them on blast, but
don't dox them.
It looks like Zoomies, but like on Halloween. That's like the vibe. It's like skater, but also like punk rock, kind of. Like they're like, yeah, we like punk. There's like punk rock for the soul, like things on the wall, basically shit like that. There's death before decaf flag behind the register, like shit like that. But you know, the coffee is okay,
right?
So.
That's the thing about like, I respect the people who are big cold brewers because if you have shit coffee, there's no way it's going to taste good. Like you have to use good coffee for it to work.
Yep. So. And I don't respect people that only drink cold brew or only iced coffees because you're just like a New Jack coffee poser. I don't know. That's just what I believe. But I'll have mostly hot coffee in the morning and then like a cold coffee in the afternoon. I feel like that's fine. Like the hot coffee in the morning is like crucial. But I'm about to switch to cold brew like in my apartment because it's starting to get real hot over here.
Yeah.
Just like all the time. I'll do that for like 2.5 months. And then like once September hits, just back to like, I'll just use drip coffee in the morning. I don't wake up. You do coffee science. Yeah. I don't really do that much coffee science because I'll wake up, I'll have a crazy fucking headache because I get coffee migraines and I just can't function. And then I'm like, I'll program my fucking, I don't even know what fucking brand it is. It's one of those regular drip brands.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of the ones where it has like the bean reserve on the top. And then I'll pour in the amount of, say I want 6 cups. And then I'll program it and it grinds exactly the right amount of beans for that. So it does a fucking good job.
That's dope.
It's not like I have to grind them and then put them in there or just put in ground beans. Like it just grinds per the amount of cups I set it to. So it's good drip coffee. But that's all I need. I don't want to be waking up and then measuring shit and pouring it over and waiting. That's cool for later.
Yeah.
I would do that later, but I don't want to do that right in the morning. You know what I mean? I'm like very like coffee addict. Like I need this right now. And then I'm going to sit down and decompress, you know?
I feel you. I do it at work because I do like the coffee we have at work is complete horseshit. It's like Costco, the oiliest coffee you've ever seen.
Yeah.
So I have like another one of these. It's different, but it's a V60 at work. And it basically, I do it first thing in the morning. So I don't actually start working until like 9:30 or like later.
Are you on the clock while you're doing that?
100%.
Yeah. So fuck it.
Yeah. I don't give a shit. So everybody's like going and pushing the button, you know, getting their espresso like immediately. I'm like hand grinding beans, fucking like waiting on the kettle to heat up and everything. Like I brought an entire setup, kettle, V60, hand grinder, and I have like a Nook. Everybody's like, what is that? I'm like, it's coffee. Then they leave you alone. They're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That's. Have you joined the Cortado gang yet?
I'll have them occasionally. I'll usually, if I get an espresso drink, I've been getting cappuccinos.
Okay.
Over the past like year or two, but that's mostly in the winter and fall. I'll get those. And then I'll get like dirty chai lattes in the winter because it's very Christmas vibe in my opinion. So shit like that. If I get a latte, I'll probably get like vanilla oat, like one of those basic bitch things. You know what I mean? But usually cold brew, or I'll get pour overs at coffee shops. I like you know what I like to do to piss people off. If I have to go to Starbucks, I'll get like one of those like pour overs that like. Well, I'm like, all right, what do you guys have? What could you give me right now? 'Cause sometimes they'll just have nothing. They'll have nothing else. But if you're there earlier in the day, they could do some pour over. I like to do a pour over at Starbucks to give me the best possible thing I could get there, kind of.
I don't know if I trust that.
Sometimes it's okay. It's just like slightly better than their drip coffee. You know what I mean? So
y'all have a reserve? Like one of those fucking Starbucks reserve stores or whatever?
They're in like New York City.
Okay.
But
got like 6 here.
I mean, that makes sense. Yeah.
But there's
none in Connecticut. There's the spot on Long Island that's like the fucking king. I'll occasionally get V60s over there and see what they're offering and stuff like that. But it's got to be in the right mood. I gotta have like, you know what I mean. I gotta have the time.
Yeah.
I can't just get that.
No.
Like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's
like
why the cold brew's like nice and easy.
Exactly. If you're Russian, you gotta wait. You know, maybe it's like their 3rd time making a pour over.
Oh yeah.
It's a little toss up.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you miss the Long Island coffee scene?
Well, the town I grew up in has this spot called Southdown, which is like phenomenal spot. Yeah. And since I've moved, well, they had 3 locations since when I was down there. But then during the pandemic, like when I moved up here, they opened fucking 4 more. But it's like all over the place now, and it's like really good. It's like a really good coffee chain, so it's awesome to see them grow. But I mean, I don't really miss it. It's good, but I still go out to Long Island, like twice a month or something. So I'll just get it. And if I'm, I try to buy coffee less and less. I used to be fucking crazy. I would spend, $10 a day or something, but try to buy coffee a couple times a week. But there's good coffee in Connecticut. It's just way more spread out.
Yeah.
Because parts of the state just don't really know what's good and parts do. But that's just how it is,
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like even in Savannah, we had a lot of good coffee for like the size of the city.
Yeah.
But like between there and a 2-hour drive, there's nothing, right? Like you gotta drive 2 hours to Charleston or Jacksonville or Macon. God damn it, Macon.
Yeah.
And there's one.
Jacksonville's got good coffee. That's where my girlfriend's from. I mean, Bold Bean's good. They have Flamingo now, which is probably my favorite.
I heard Flamingo not too long ago. Actually, Luke, it was like 6 months ago. Luke told me about Flamingo.
That's the spot, I think. It's like a bar, and it's a bar / coffee bar, and they're open late as fuck. And when they first opened, they were using Heart coffee, I'm pretty sure. And now I think they use their own, but I don't know what it is. They might just like rebrand something, you know what I mean? But that's fine. Yeah. I don't really care. It's good. Yeah.
So tell me about Coffee Guy in 1990. Why is this?
All right. Well, that was just me going on tour. Like before that page, just going on tour and taking a picture of a coffee and putting it on my Instagram story.
Right.
And just every time, it's just like coffee location. And I'm like, I'm just gonna do a separate page for this. So then I just started fucking posting just the same thing on that page. Like there's nothing exciting. Like I've been posting like shitty coffee memes on there recently because I don't care. I'll treat the internet like a piece of shit. But I just just like a picture of a plastic like eco cup with a cold brew in it, and it's just like doing the coffee. And I'll put the location, and I rate everything out of 7 coffee cups. I have a rating system. I could probably.
You should walk me through this rating system.
Hold on. 1 second.
I feel like this is the perfect opportunity to lay this out.
I have it. Oh, I gotta go. All right, I'm on the page because I posted it right when I made the page.
Right.
And then I reposted it like once or two, like 1 or 2. Oh, here we go. Okay. Here we go. All right. So 1 cup is trash. It's just trash. I basically, I might have had that once. Yeah. I just tried. Why would I even try to drink that?
Right.
You know what I mean? 2 cups, drinkable trash. Where it's like, I could drink this, but this sucks. Mm-hmm. This sucks fucking so much. 3 cups. It's okay. It's like probably most mom coffee shops is this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
4 cups is a good spot, which is like, that's like the spot next to my apartment probably, where it's like very popular. I would say it's like good. It's like fine.
Right.
That's like the lowest cup rating that I would go to more than once.
Okay.
But I try not to. Then 5 is very good, which is like awesome. 6 is extremely good. It's very exciting, man. And then 7 cups is perfection.
Okay.
Which just means like if you're getting the perfect rating, you got to be like roasting your own beans. You gotta it's gotta look perfect in there. You can have a couple treats. I love like if you have like 5 treats, and if they're homemade or something, that's like even better. You know what I mean? Dude, I went to a spot. This is great time to bring this up. In Columbus. What was the fucking spot? I was just there. I gotta shout it out because it was so good. Columbus, Ohio coffee. I'm searching it right now. But anyway, they had these Parable coffee. Okay. I mean, that's a great name. Great name for a coffee shop right there. You know what I mean? They had like 6 custom, like they did like those in-house like filled Pop-Tart things.
Oh yeah. And
then they did some sort of a cinnamon thing and this, and it was like the best coffee shop treats I've ever had. All homemade, like right there. The coffee was fucking phenomenal. That's a fire spot. Recommend that to anybody. It's like right off the highway in Columbus too.
That's sick.
But yeah, that Instagram is very stupid. And I used to take little videos on there. I'm trying to do more, but I just don't think about that page because it's so stupid. But I don't know. Follow it.
You haven't been touring it any like.
That's another thing where it's like when I was touring, like pre-pandemic, I was doing way more. This dude, Sanction would do a 5-week tour, and we would go to like Starbucks once or maybe twice just because you're in the desert in fucking Arizona, and there's literally no option.
Right.
But it's always like we wake up and either I know where we are, or you know what I mean? Or we're at a friend's house and they know where to go, and I'm just like on Google Maps or Yelp, just looking around, like looking at places that you gotta go here. But I mean, that was like the most fun part of touring, doing shit like that, just trying all these new spots.
That's like the highlight. Even now, like I've started playing in a band that's able to travel and do shows again, and like we went to like outside of Toronto, Hamilton. Yeah. On the way down, like for the next morning, I'm like looking up, like we're going to this coffee shop. We're going to this one before we leave. When we go through Toronto, we got to stop here. So you like,
where'd you go?
There's a place called Steel Town Garage.
Yeah.
It's newer. It's like a moto shop, but they have a coffee bar. Yeah. Then I went to this place called Syllable.
Yeah.
Or Synonym. My bad. Synonym.
Great name for a coffee shop.
And it's all caps, right?
Great.
The cafe is immaculate. Homemade babkas.
In Toronto?
No, it's in Hamilton.
Oh, okay.
So like in between Toronto, around the Horn to go to Niagara.
Yeah.
So awesome spot. That was the best. That might be the best espresso I've had in a long time. Single origin Ethiopian natural. Holy shit.
I'm just looking up a picture of it right now.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh yeah, this looks like, yeah, this is textbook right here.
Do they have homemade mini chocolate babkas?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Insane.
Yeah, this place looks real fucking good.
Then on the way through Toronto, we went to Major Treat.
In Toronto, I've heard. Oh, that's the hardcore.
That's Hambone's spot. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Or Martin.
I never had it. Never had it. It's pretty good though?
Yeah, I mean, it's Phil and Seb. It's like, it's good coffee. It's like a little walk-up bar. Like you just grab your coffee, and their cookies were sick though.
They have a couple locations.
It's just one, but they have 2 barbershops.
Oh, okay.
So it's like Town Barber, and then in the one, I don't know if they opened a second one, but it's near like, you know Matty Matheson, right? It's like near his
Yeah.
like
Okay.
fucking burger joint. Yeah. But that was like the best part of the whole trip, is like going to Maddie's Patties, eating good food, and like, discovering coffee. I don't even care about the show.
Just, I love driving down the highway and then just like looking at my phone while I'm driving, like where's the spot? Like I have a bad addiction with that. That synonym spot. Next time I go to Toronto and drive there, I'm fucking going there.
So yeah, Hamilton is dope. And that place is like pretty close off the highway, and then Toronto's just packed with fucking coffee shops. Like it's crazy. When you come to Montreal next to, like, it's gonna take us a minute to get. Yeah,
I gotta get good coffee up there. I'm always like at a venue, and it's like I don't even know. It's always, I just never had a chance up there. I love so many people from Toronto, but for the city, it's like pretty overwhelming for me. So I'm just like, yeah, dude, that's New York City with coffee is, I mean, that's why I'll mostly just go to Say every time I'm down there, where it's like, one of the best roasters in the country. And it's great. And it's by everything that I would do when I go down to Brooklyn or something. So I'll just go there. And then there's like Devotion.
Devotion, I heard from
Devotion.
I think it was Harold told like Adam Easterling about fucking Devotion.
It's all Colombian coffee. So if you like, I mean, Say is better, but El Devotion, bro, oh my God, when you go in there, it's like a huge entranceway. Because like I've seen the line like go all the way down, but it's just a hallway, and then you get to the back where there's the coffee bar and like couches and tables, and it just looks like you're in a rainforest. I'm like, this is crazy, but it's like in the best way, where it's like fake with like trees and shit and like stuff dripping down. It's like a good like coffee shop rainforest vibe, not like a shitty one.
I gotta go here.
You looking up a picture?
Yeah, I gotta fucking go.
Yeah.
I've heard of it so many times, but it's like, oh,
and there's like art. There's like art on the wall and shit.
Oh, it's Brooklyn. I didn't know it was in Brooklyn.
Dude, I think everything is. This looks. Oh, they have a few different locations. This shit looks. Let me try to find the one. It might be the one with the couches and they have the fucking rainforest thing up behind the people. Hold on.
What's the one with the giant thing in the middle?
Like the couches facing each other?
I think so.
I don't fucking know.
Anyway, dude, like these are all great, aesthetically pleasing coffee shops. Like every single location. I don't think they miss.
I think their coffee's like really good. It's not like my favorite. I like lighter roast stuff, but it's still phenomenal. So.
I've heard good things. So next time I'm in Brooklyn, I gotta hit that shit up because I think their roasteries like in Williamsburg.
Yeah, dude. There's a spot in Manhattan that I need to go to called La Cabra. Have you ever heard of that?
They're from Aarhus, Denmark.
Yes, they have like the Denmark location and just New York City, and that's it.
Yep.
That's like supposedly like one of the best spots like in the world, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I actually had a guy from a band in that town, like from that town,
Yeah,
like this black gaze
yeah,
band. And he was like,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
the greatest coffee I've ever had. I was like, I'm never
yeah.
going to get to try it. And then they opened in Manhattan.
It's like I'm pretty sure it's like a no steam kind of coffee spot, like just pour overs and like a cold brew or something,
Mhm.
which is fine. Because I got to shout out the homies in Path Coffee in Melbourne, Australia. That's probably the best coffee spot I've ever been to in the world. It's guy from that band. You remember the Australian band Carpathian?
Rings a bell.
Um, he's in this band now called Born Free.
Mhm.
Just like the Melbourne like hardcore kids.
Yeah.
Dude, this coffee shop packed. So good. We were in there 2 days in a row for 5 hours at a time. I was like, give me the most expensive fucking pour over on the menu. It was like 60 Australian or something. But I'm
Holy
like, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. That's only like that's like 37 American, which is like, yeah, I'll spend all this money on here. I have no problem spending a shitload of money on coffee. It actually feels better
Yeah.
doing that. You know, our brains are fucked up in some way. So
It's got to be, but it's like an ethical thing at a certain point for me.
yeah, yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
I know that this is actually going back to like somebody who deserves it.
Dude, we sat there. I got like 2 coffees. I got like a $60 one, then I got like a $30 one. This is Australian currency, so it's way less than it's still a lot of money. And then I got like a tote bag and like a hat. I remember I spent and I think I got like a sandwich. He made like these cool like what kind of was it? It was like a cheese sandwich, and he did like this weird like French toast. I spent $150, and I was like, that's fine. I mean, plus it's ran by hardcore kids too, so it's like, yeah, take all this.
Support your fucking friends, man. Like, just
yeah,
gas them up,
dude. It's the best.
Yeah, that's
Well, yeah, no. What am I saying? He's the one that told me about La Cabra.
Yeah.
He's like, have you ever been here? And I was like, no. And he's like, you have to go there. He's like, it's one of the best. So, because I asked him, I was like, what are your favorite coffee shops in the world? And I think he said that was number 1 or number 2 or something. And I was like, I gotta go. But dude, going to Manhattan, it's just like I never do that. I just don't want to, and I never do. So, whenever I'm gonna be in Manhattan in June, so I'm 100% going. Can't wait.
I avoid Manhattan so much. I worked New Year's Eve there like 3 years in a row in Times Square.
Yeah. That's the worst.
It's garbage.
Yeah, that's the worst.
But yeah, like I've heard that like Brooklyn and all those areas are a lot cooler. I hate Manhattan.
That's where like all the shows are usually. I mean, there's shows in Manhattan, but 75% of the shows are in Brooklyn and where everybody lives and shit like that. I mean, it's not my favorite place, but people love going down there.
Yeah, I anybody who's like, I'm going to New York, I'm like, cool, have fun. Like, try to have fun.
Dude, it's not for me.
Too expensive.
You can never find a place to piss when you're there. I hate that.
It's the worst. You guys gotta buy something.
I just hate being around tons of people nonstop. I hate that. Especially since about how fucked up America is. It's like, I don't want to be around all these fucking people. Put me in the woods. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, that's another reason I'm so happy to live in Canada. Like, as un-American as that sounds, I don't care.
That's fine. That's fine.
Every time I turn on the news, I'm like, this is fucked.
Yeah, it is.
Well, how has the move been from Connecticut? How connected are you still like to the scene? I know you're running fucking DAZE, so you got to be doing some shit. But like, are you regularly going to local shows? What's it look like up there?
Yeah, I'm still going to as much shit as I can. Connecticut's starting to pop more and more up here. There's a lot of younger kids doing a lot of shit. A lot of bands that are starting to pop up here, like Wreckage.
Yeah.
Like Broken Down, Restraining Order. There's a new band called Dalmora, which is fucking sick. There's a lot of stuff that's starting to pop. A lot of kids starting to travel to Connecticut for shows, which is crazy because this is, it's like a B market state, essentially, in between Boston and New York, because most places will just go there. But no, I go to as much as possible still. I mean, I'm still always like traveling for shit. I mean, going to fests and doing this, going to Long Island a couple of times a month.
Right.
Going to shows down in Long Island when I can. I mean, Long Island post-pandemic is very different than it was pre-pandemic. But Connecticut is popping more and more every day.
That's really cool to know that, because it's kind of a suburb state, right? It's like,
yeah, I mean, New Haven, Hartford, Bridgeport, Waterbury, like Stamford, they're like cities, they're smaller cities.
Right.
Most of the shows will happen in between New Haven and Hartford, which are like 40 minutes apart, like central Connecticut. But yeah, it's definitely, compared to Boston and New York, I mean, you look at any tour routing, it's going to go to Boston or New York.
Right.
And that's why, I mean, if a band does a Northeast run or an East Coast run, we'll try to do Boston and Connecticut and New York, and it'll be fine because it's different kids usually.
Yeah.
And a lot of Boston shows are happening like southeast of Boston now, which is about 2.5 hours from where you would go to a show in Connecticut. So that's far.
Right.
And there's kids that live fucking all over the state that will travel for the show in Connecticut.
I don't know how it is in Connecticut or what you're seeing, but like you were mentioning the kind of more local, like those regional bands. Are you seeing bigger turnout for local only shows than you are for even like bigger touring packages coming through?
Yeah.
It's weird.
People. Yeah. People can. I mean, Anxious is like another Connecticut band. They're like one of the bigger ones right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they kill it. They can draw like 200, 250 kids to a show themselves in Connecticut. Not necessarily, it's hardcore, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The kids go to that show. I saw them in November, and it's a lot of just pop punk kids. But Restraining, who played? The Wreckage played that show, and the Wreckage set at that was just like fucking insane. Kids jumping off all kinds of shit. But kids love the local bands here, and they also love Massachusetts bands and Hudson Valley bands, like upstate New York, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. So it's kind of a trifecta of like friends and shit like that, where kids will travel to each region for their shows and all stuff like that.
It's so weird. Like, I'm only 30, so I wasn't around for like the Merrimack Valley shit, like when Bane was popping off and all that, like in the late 80s, early 90s and shit. But like, what we're seeing now feels a lot like how it was back in like those earlier days. Because even here, it's the same. Like, we had a local show 2 weeks ago and sold it. Right. I think we were over capacity by almost 100 people.
Exactly.
Like, it's crazy. And it was 2 bands for a show.
Yeah. I mean, that's what matters the most. If your locals don't do well, then why would you bring some fucking touring band into there? I mean, touring bands do well here too, but you got to have the right package on here. I mean, there's a good amount of Connecticut locals right now. I'm not saying people love all of them, because it's just like not how it's going to be all the time. But the handful of locals that people fucking love, like in like the Bay Area in California, like those local bands there. Oh my God, bro. I was playing for a Restraining Order last year, and we played San Jose with Feel the Flames. And the Feel the Flames merch line had like 100 kids on it. And we're like, holy shit, like we're supposed to play after you guys? Like, no, you're playing after us. Get the fuck out of here. Like that scene is like textbook, like they love the locals. They like the other bands too, but the locals is 100% the most important thing.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. So
that's what
I like that.
I'm happy that it seems like there's a lot of areas that's happening in, like all over North America. I can't speak for Europe at all because the only experience I have is going to Outbreak last year, and that's
a huge fest, so you can't really.
No, it's like it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But here, like, I was at a show in Hamilton, and the locals got way more love than like the bands coming from Detroit and like, you know, Indiana. Like Days Lost played and D Block played, which those are two fucking incredible bands. But like a lot of people were there to see like Die Alone, which is, I would say, on par regionally with those bands.
Yeah.
So it's just very cool to see that all of these scenes have like a lot of crazy vibe. Like it's just weird to go and see. Well, like
there's a lot of kids that maybe went to a few shows before the pandemic for like a year or two, and then everything shut down, and they still have that itch. They had like that show itch. Just watching videos and just waiting for shit to come back. And then shit comes back and they just like add everything, just going off as much as possible, which is great. Yeah. But yeah, that's real common now because, all right, the pandemic was 3 years ago. If you started going to shows in 2018, which is pretty common a lot of younger, that's 5 years ago, right? So any kid in like, their late teens, early 20s now, they missed 2 years of shows.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about. I mean, when everything shut down, I was like, damn, because we were on a tour. We just had to go home. I was like, all right. But then I was like, all right, this is kind of nice. I didn't have to go to anything. Dude, I'm not going to lie to you. I was like, dope. I didn't want to go to a show until like fall 2020. I was like, all right, I would go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of want to go to a show.
Yeah.
But it just, dude, I was like talking with some friends yesterday. We were like, when the pandemic happened, it kind of felt good because we were starting to not get burnt out on shows. Where it's just like, we've been fucking, by that point, going to shit for over 15 years. Just like, you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, maybe I'll skip this, I'll skip that. It's just exhausting.
Yeah.
So,
like, because you're 30.
33.
33, yeah. So,
yeah.
It's about the same time. Yeah. It's like, I started playing in bands when I was like 16.
Yes.
That shit gets tiring.
Yeah. It really does, man. It's just, I don't know. I'm happy shows are back and there's, tons of shit going on. I'm not saying I'm not happy about it. I'm just saying when everything shut down, it did feel kind of good.
It felt nice.
No, yeah, yeah. Obviously, there's some fucked up shit going on, but did feel kind of nice
to feel a weight of obligation just lifted.
Dude, that I can't even think about that right now. I can't even think about that, like that period, like just doing like nothing. It's crazy, but whatever. We're here now. We're just fucking
back grinding.
Shows, yeah. It doesn't feel like shows. It doesn't feel like I didn't go to a show for like 15 months or 14 months. Like I feel that part of my brain is just not there.
Right.
It feels like it never stopped. I don't know.
I do find myself reminding like, oh man, there was a time where I like wasn't doing all of this shit anymore.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And I was a madman because I started the podcast in the middle of it. And I was like, I got to do something. Like I'm going to go crazy. But then I forgot that when everything starts back up, you still have to keep doing it. It's like a pet.
Yep.
So gotta keep.
So I started doing more. Yeah. I started doing more label shit like during it. Yeah. Like that's when I really like started doing it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it makes sense because I didn't have anything else to do.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know, just figure it out and go with the flow. Now it's like I have stuff to do. I have other things to do, and I got to do this. So now I'm just like, yo, what the fuck? I work a part-time job too, like outside of this. So yeah, I can't even go to a coffee shop and sit down for a few hours. But
Yeah, like when you're like doing label stuff, do you ever just like want to go to a shop and work on your computer?
I do occasionally, but I usually, if I can, I will. If I have the time, like I'll go with my girlfriend to the coffee shop right next to our apartment and just sit there for like an hour or so.
The punk rock shop?
Yeah. Yeah, if I have the time, I will.
I kind of know the backstory of DAZE. Like I know you put out the Queensway and then you did
Yeah, I've said it on like
5.
15 podcasts.
I think you said it on Scoped Exposure like 5 episodes. You said the same thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to ask you.
No, dude, I said this legitimately probably 7 podcasts within the past year and a half, maybe. And my girlfriend was like, "You gonna keep talking about the fucking Queensway record?" I'm fucking. I mean, like, I don't care. Like, I'm obviously gonna like talk about it. It's just funny, like saying the same thing on a podcast like nonstop.
Right.
I don't care. It's a different podcast.
But it's like we don't all have the same listeners, right?
For sure. Yeah.
We kind of all cross over, but it's not 100% the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I know I've listened to like 2 out of the 3 unscoped, and I think you've talked about it in each episode. So I'm not gonna.
Oh yeah, I forgot I did 3. It's fucked up.
Yeah, it's funny. Actually, after the last one is when I started talking to Spencer, and he's like, "You really should have Lumpy on." I was like, "You don't need to fucking tell me. Like, I already know this."
We'll do the same thing.
I don't know. We're gonna go for 5.
Yeah. Tell me how you started the label.
No, don't tell me.
What were you saying?
Don't fucking tell me how you started the label. I know how you started the label. What's been your favorite thing you put out so far? If people don't know, the name of the label is DAZE. It's DAZE Media. What's the full name?
It's just DAZE. I mean, just DAZE. The Instagram is Days of the Future's Past because I just took a song name and just made it that. And then when I started doing a zine, I just made it DAZE. And then that turned into a label. I just took the first. There was no thought. It was just like, all right, this is fine.
That's cool.
But favorite thing. I'd probably have to say the Pain of Truth EP, just because that it's such like a monumental release.
Yeah.
In the label, like such like a thing. Like it brought so much attention to the label, and they rep the label so hard that it just like helps me. So I mean that I have to pick that. You know what I mean?
That EP is. I think it will be like legend status. Like
yeah, for sure.
It's like a cult class. It's not even cult. It's just like straight up on the tip of everyone's tongue always when you talk about post-pandemic like hardcore.
Oh yeah, dude. When they put that out, well, I mean, when I put it out, when they sent it to me, we put it out. Before it came out, I was like, people are gonna fucking like this. Yeah. This is like really good. And it came out, people liked it. Then they didn't play a show that was July 2020. The first show was, I think it was October 1st, 2021. So I don't know, what was it, 15 months?
A year and a half almost, yeah.
The first 2 shows like sold out back to back. It was just like, holy shit, this band is fucking insane.
Yeah.
And they've been grinding since. Like playing, well, they got the split songs and they got the comp song. So it's like 8 songs, playing them nonstop everywhere, which is the coolest style.
Yeah.
I just love just beating these songs into the fucking ground all under the place. I love it.
I recently saw Michael on fucking on Hard Lore, and they were like, "How many songs do you have out in the world?" And he's like, 7 songs in an intro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Touring the world on 7 songs in a fucking intro.
Yeah, I mean they've been incorporating some new songs and like covers and shit like that just to fill out the set. But I mean, this summer their new record's coming out and like they're gonna have like a lot of songs to choose from.
Yeah.
So it's like a 10-song record, and then you got all the old shit. It's like, damn, we got too many songs. We can't play everything. So it's just gonna be a different kind of thing going on.
Is there something coming out soon that you're super excited about? Just that.
that record, I mean, I'm not going to give an exact date, but the end of June should be the beginning of that.
They're at Outbreak this year, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think they are.
Yep. I'll be there playing for Restraining Order too on that whole tour with Painted Truth. Yeah, they're playing Outbreak. Around that time, there should be some news about the new record, and it's fucking phenomenal. It's dude, I listen to it nonstop. Besides that, shit that I'm excited to come out. The new Adrian EP it's a band from Massachusetts. That band's dope. We're still waiting on like final like mixes and stuff like that. But it's only a few songs, but the songs are like 5 minutes long, so each song is like an adventure. But yeah, I'm real stoked on that. I don't know. I got a good amount of stuff lined up that I'm excited about. So it's this spring summer is fucking will be dope.
There's been so much Adrian buzz leading up to FYA. I remember because I joined DAZE Records for like 4 days, and like
yeah, I mean it started that's a whole other fucking thing. That started right before FYA.
I remember.
Yeah,
I couldn't stay up with that shit. That
was so funny.
That got way out of hand like immediately.
I was like, oh, you guys are having fun. And I was like occasionally popping. I was like, all right, you guys are having fun. I'll see you later. I do not see any of this. Do whatever the hell you want to do. I'm not responsible.
Yeah.
I'm not responsible.
That's like disclaimer when you join. I am not responsible for what happens in here.
I think people kind of know that I'm a fucking idiot, and then you can be a fucking idiot in there, which is fine. I mean, do whatever the hell you want to do. So I just want everybody to have fun.
Yeah, it's great. I remember as soon as I joined, I got like 38 notifications in the span of like 7 minutes. I was like, mute, no more.
Yeah.
Felt like Bruce Almighty when he said yes to all the prayers coming in.
Yeah. The inbox.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was so much Adrian buzz, and then after that set, like I feel like people really, really like
they killed it,
caught on with that. So it's pretty cool to see. Yeah. Let me know what do you have going on right now? I know you're doing some stuff with Restraining Order. King 9 is playing again. Yeah,
King 9's writing stuff. We almost had a new song done. I think we're gonna record this summer. I'm reissuing Scared to Death, the first King 9 record, at the end of this year.
Sick.
Like a 10-year anniversary thing. I don't know if our new stuff is going to come out before or after that, but we should have a good amount of stuff popping like the second half of the year. But yeah, that's like my only band right now. Sanction's not doing anything. I'll occasionally fill in for Restraining Order, like very occasionally. Sanction's not doing shit. We were gonna maybe play one show this year, but I don't think it's gonna happen. And I'm in the process of like starting new bands, but whenever I get time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it'll happen sometime.
We need some new Out for Justice.
We might play a show this summer. I don't know.
I need some.
I don't know if that band's gonna do anything else. We might. I don't know. We have like 7 releases, and we've played 3 shows.
Yeah. So. I love that shit.
We gotta play I want to play another show, but it's all up to the other guys. I'm down. If they're like, yo, let's play, I'm like, okay, but they're never going to say that. They would have to be like me, let's play this show, and I try to convince them. But I want to be convincing people to do something because then we just shouldn't be doing it in the first place.
Yeah, I know how it is trying to be like the fucking motivator in a band. I'm just like, all right, fine. Like
Yeah,
if y'all want to do shit, I'm not gonna fucking do it.
Yeah, it shouldn't be happening. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's sick. I'm stoked to hopefully hear some new King 9 soon then.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good shit.
Who are y'all recording with?
We don't know yet. Yeah, I don't think anything's set.
Okay.
But we're supposed to be recording this summer, but I think I don't think the studio's set. But we're only doing like a few songs, like 2 or 3 songs or something like that.
Cool.
I mean, 2 or 3 songs this day and age is so much material. People don't give a fuck about a record. They just want a song or 2 to listen to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a song, like a little promo every 6 months is like more than enough now.
Just stay current and just put something out. That's all that matters.
People just want fucking 7 inches and tapes.
Yeah. Everybody wants to do an LP, bro. An LP is like, a full length is the hardest thing to do. Because if you do 10 songs, you're going to have songs that you're not really sure about on there. And it's like, cut those. Just do an EP. And just space them out or something like that. Just be creative. There's no like right or wrong way to do this.
I don't know. The idea of writing an LP like is so daunting to me.
Yeah, it's hard, and it sucks for sure.
It sucks. Fuck that.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to do a good one. It really is.
Yeah, I've just talked to some friends recently that put out an EP independent or an LP independently.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, y'all are
like
great.
They pressed it themselves and everything.
I don't think they're pressing, but they definitely released like a full length.
Yeah, like they paid for the recording and everything themselves. And yeah.
I was like, y'all are crazy.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm doing that. Like, but I mean, if y'all enjoyed it, that's sick. But I can't do that.
Yeah, if the right group of people can do a full length record. It's just, do you want to waste your time doing all this? Nobody's gonna give a fuck. Like, you should do a couple of songs, see if people care, then go from there.
Yeah.
Don't waste all your time.
Put out a fucking promo.
Yeah. Or don't waste all your fucking time and money. Do this big release and then nobody gives a fuck and you waste your fucking time.
People just
keep doing
merch.
demos or something. Yeah. It's true.
They just want merch. They want to collect fucking records and CDs, I guess, just coming back now.
Thank God. I'm for it.
I know your opinion on CDs.
Yeah.
I don't even have a record player, but I have records, so I should say something.
There's a lot of people like that, so don't feel crazy. That's common.
I just think they're cool.
No, that's fine. I mean, they are cool. I'll listen to my records maybe once every 2 weeks. I'll put on something. But I'm not sitting here listening to the record all the fucking time. But yeah, just having the big artwork is just is cool, and having the insert and looking at shit, you know?
Yeah. But like having to flip it is, I hate.
Yeah.
I hate flipping records.
I mean, dude, that's like, I was just talking about this yesterday also. Growing up, I was like 7 inches is the best format. I was just like, I love 7 inches because it is true. You can get cool pressings and shit. You can get just weird singles that a band did that you don't even know about, and all for cheap for a couple bucks. So I love that. I have so many weird fucking 7 inches. I'm looking at them right now. Like, I've listened to 15% of these.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of just weird things. But then if you want to put on a record and do something, you can't with a 7 inch. You put on one song and then you put it on 3 minutes later, you got to go back and flip it. Then you got to take it off. It's just like, the fuck. But a 12 inch, like a 12 inch EP, I like. I know some people don't like it, but a single sided, because you could put it on, just plays through the whole thing, and then you're done. And then you could put like artwork on the B side or something to complete the package and make it cool.
Okay, I love that you're saying this right now because I literally, so I just mixed the full length for my friend's street punk band. They've been around for like 20 years. And I was doing the final mix with them and we were like chatting in the studio. And I was like, are y'all gonna like, cause my band was like looking at putting out a demo and we were like, oh, we're thinking about pressing it, but we don't want to pay for it. So like, we're trying to work something out. And they were like, you should do a 12-inch single side press because it's 10 minutes.
For sure.
Yeah. So I was like, that's the best idea I've ever heard because you don't have to flip it over.
They want to do a 7-inch?
No. So they're doing a full LP. They already have it getting pressed. So they're getting a full, but I was telling them like my idea was like maybe a 7-inch or a tape for like my band shit. And they're like, no, just press.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. They were like, just press a single side. I was like, that's fucking sick.
If you have a record that's, I'd say like shorter than like 14 minutes, like up to 14 minutes, just do a single sided 12-inch.
Yeah.
Just because it'll be easier to listen to it and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that. And then you could put shit on the B side. You could put art, you could put silk screen or etching or something cool. Some sort
and
of
you
artwork.
also only pay for one press, like one plate.
Yeah, I mean that's like minimal money, but I know what you mean for sure. I've done just speaking of the Out for Justice LP. I mean, I didn't really know that it was one of my. Oh, let me get it. Oh no, this isn't even video anyway. I forgot, but I just want to look at this. Yeah, it's 4 songs on the A side and 4 songs on the B side, and the full length of this record I think is 12 minutes.
You could have done it all.
And it's, I know. I didn't fucking. This was like the 4th vinyl release, maybe. It was like within like something like that, but I didn't know. Yeah, I was just like, yeah, it's a full length. You split it up, but I wasn't thinking about how long it actually is.
Right.
But so funny.
Well, Lumpy, this has been a lot of fun. I don't know if you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, I finished my Coke Zero. I gotta drink a water now.
Wash her down.
Yeah.
Well, let me know before we go. I just want to know your favorite city for beans and breakdowns.
Favorite city for both?
Yeah.
The best coffee with the best shows.
Yeah.
Is that your question?
Yeah.
Like this show is going to be sick. I'm also going to get sick coffee. Damn. Like I got to think of the show first. It would probably have to be something like San Antonio, Texas.
That's a new one.
They have good coffee. Shows in San Antonio are like top 3 in the country. Top 5, definitely. Like really good. Any kind of hardcore. Hard shit, fast shit, everything. And I know they have a State Coffee, which is a good spot. There's a couple more, I forget the names. That's definitely up there. Because the shows are so good. You know what I mean? I'll just go with that. Let's go with that. There's other coffee shops I like more than that spot, but that spot's really good and the show's gonna be sick.
Damn. I've never been to a show. My wife is from Houston, but I've never been to a show in San Antonio.
Houston's my least favorite city in Texas.
Really? Over Dallas?
Out of the major ones. Out of the Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, Houston's my least favorite. And I'm a Giants fan, so I fucking hate the Cowboys. But I like Dallas. So the city's cool. But San Antonio is probably my favorite. It's like the most low key.
Dallas, San Antonio reminds me of my hometown a little bit.
Yeah. Houston is just like, I don't know. I don't really vibe with it for some reason. Yeah, I've had some good shows there, but not as good as San Antonio and Dallas. But shout out Houston anyway. I knew they're doing some good shit over there now.
They got weird shit going on over there. Like From Joy and
oh, that band's from there? I've seen that name. I haven't listened to it, but I've seen the name.
They just put out an LP. It's ranking pretty high.
It has to be metal, right?
It's metalcore, but they also use trance.
Dope.
It's sick, actually.
Doing something different. There was a fucking slam ball from Jersey called Dripping that has their trance and slam. Like it'd be like brutal, like, and then just go to like some breakbeat, like fucking for like 2 minutes, and then back into a slam.
Dude, that's what this is. It's not
Is
slam.
it?
It's not slam though.
Yeah, but it's like metalcore with that.
But it's like very heavy metalcore. Like there's some singing, but it's singing over like D&B, like trancey, like, and like weird synthy shit. But they play it's a 4-piece, and the guitarist is playing like a 30-inch scale baritone and like
so it's like yeah.
But it's one of those bands where the snare is tuned as tight as it can fucking go.
That's the only way it should be. So
I know, it's my favorite thing.
Yeah, that's the only way it should be.
So I've been waiting to see them live because I'm like, how the fuck are y'all playing this?
Yeah,
like,
if you're a band playing mosh parts and you don't have a poppy snare, just call it. Pull the plug.
Stop. You like, don't even try it.
Yeah.
How do you expect me to crowd kill to that?
You need the fucking ding.
It's got to sound like a dodgeball.
Yeah, just turn the snares off on the snare. If you have a poppy snare, if you don't have a poppy snare, just turn the snares off. That would be fine. Because it'll just still have that go.
Yeah, that's the key. You got to do the sing with Sigabog.
The best.
So good.
Sickest fucking drum tone.
Shout out Volcano.
Shout out.
Well, Lumpy, thanks so much for chilling. It's been a fun afternoon.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Beans and Breakdowns. I want to say a huge thanks to Lumpy for hanging out on the podcast. If you haven't already, check out the bands on DAZE Records and all of the bands that Lumpy's been a part of. All of them have quality music. King 9, legendary Long Island hardcore band. So be sure to check that out. The links are in the description of the episode. If you've enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. You can find out more information about the podcast by following us on Instagram at Beans and Breakdowns or on the web at beansandbreakdowns.com. Until next week, be sure to stay caffeinated and wake the fuck up.